Well, I guess everybody was lying when they said Vince was just coming back to sell the company. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Bob. Joining as always, my good friend, Hollywood Frank.
Yeah. I was like, where was I at?
No, I'm just trying something new.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, talking about all the news in wrestling. Watch the Wrestling Council on Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
That's right, baby.
Check us out on social media. It's in both the crawler below and the description. And oh my freaking God.
Woo, what a week. What a week.
Acknowledge me. Big Daddy, GOC, the Guardian of Chaos. Man.
We always acknowledge you, Big Daddy.
Oh my God. I gotta pick Big Daddy's brain about some of this stuff, man. Good Lord. It has been an absolute. Have we been on for more than 30 seconds? Okay, yeah. It has been an absolute shitstorm. Oh my God. Hey, Mount actually got home safe. Yeah. Just got home safe and sound. Thank God, man.
Yeah, congratulations, Maldacito.
Don't need to worry about you trying to kill yourself. But yeah, crazy last few days.
And Porn Stash Vince is at it again.
Vince, yeah, dude. He looks like, remember those really sleazy directors they would do in like the movies in the 50s. That's what he looks like. He's like, no, come on in the office, doll. We'll have to sit down and have a talk here. You know, it's just, oh my God. It's like, Vince, we've seen you with the gray hair and everything, man. It's I don't know what you're doing about it. But anyway, real quick here, let's run down. We got here the Mountain Seed said, "Sup, people? What's up, Mo?
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
What's up?
But yeah, man, that's like, oof, Mal, he's getting ahead of us. Says the good Shibata win the pure title, the downfall of Cody Rhodes, Cody Hype, the ugly, how Vince looked like the mariachi on the Tapiti bottle. God, it's such a weird look, man. Oh man, but yeah, Courtney was here. What's up? What's up, Courtney? Big Daddy, no, me, Hicksville, said, "Sup? What's up, Hicksville?" And everybody else that's going to be slowly tripling in. Thank you. I don't worry if I take care of myself. I'll talking about at least other three vehicles.
That's right. Go big or go home.
Jeez.
Go big or go home.
Oh God.
If you're going down, take somebody with you.
Oh my God. It's
Oh, hell no.
Anyway. But yeah, so WrestleMania, which should have been the biggest story we were talking about,
It
got
was
completely overshadowed by Vince reestablishing himself as the endgame big bad boss. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. But first, before we get into that, we got to do our favorite segment. It's a little something we call the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going first this week, and part of my good got
gobbled up,
spoiled there by
Maldacito.
But yeah, Ring of Honor's a Supercard of Honor. Katsuyori Shibata is your new pure champion. He didn't just win; he came out and he stomped a freaking mud hole in Wheeler Yuta. So, Shibata is like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. That dude is legit one of the toughest human beings that ever lived. if you know his story, you know that he didn't just damn near die. Like they literally, when they had to perform brain surgery on this dude, they had to remove his brain from his skull. They had to take it out. They had to open his head up, pull his brain out a little bit so they could work in there. Like, this dude should have died. And here he is back to kicking ass. And yeah, couldn't be happier for the guy. It's awesome. And by the way, Ring of Honor's TV show, Honor Club, worth it. In my opinion, worth it. $10 a month. Yep. It's been awesome. Hicksville said GBU's easy, good. Night 1, bad. Night 2, ugly. Raw after WrestleMania. Yeah, right. Yeah,
we'll get into that.
Oof. The bad. Cody losing to Roman Reigns. Now I know there's a lot. Now I'm saying bad. I am not saying Cody is ruined. I'm like, oh, Cody's ruined. It's done. Blah blah blah. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that in my personal opinion, Cody is never going to be hotter than he was last night. Than he was Sunday night. He is never going to be bigger. That moment is never going to be bigger. And I'll get to him in a second. And I feel like WWE missed a golden opportunity to literally create the next John Cena / maybe even as high as Rock and Austin. They had a chance to make an iconic performer last night. And they blew
Sunday night.
Sunday night. And they didn't. Now, is Cody's going to be fine. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cody's going to be fine. Their intention, it seems like, and there's some things I'm going to talk about that after WrestleMania and after Raw last night. What the plan going forward for WWE obviously is, and the situation for WWE going forward obviously is, in my personal opinion. But I think they missed a golden opportunity to truly create a megastar on Sunday, and that's and by the way, that is a total Vince move, because we all know Vince doesn't want megastars like Cena anymore. He wants the brand to be the star.
Yes.
So that's it. So that's my bad. The ugly. Vince sells WWE to Endeavor and immediately steps right back into creative like we always said he was going to. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, man, the morale of WWE is bad, because there's a lot of people that immediately when they saw this, immediately when it happened, they're like, yeah, we went out. Yep. We went out. We're done. So, yeah, we're gonna go way more into that. I don't want to, I don't want to talk about it yet. I'm bury the lead a little bit before we're done here, but yeah. But Johnny, what's up, man? Kill my creation.
I'm Vince McMahon, damn it, let's hear it.
Guy in the hot sauce bottle.
Oh boy.
You like being back in charge there, Mr. Kill My Creation?
Well, my seat is a little dirty, I guess. Paul has been cheating in my work for a while, but time to set the ship on the way, fix things, keep Roman on top, change a few names. I don't like that Austin Theory has his name back. We gotta get that fixed.
Oh my god, dude, I can't. You just
yeah.
Anyway,
those single names again.
Yep. But all right, Hollywood, what you got for your GBU, man?
You forgot your other good, man, because you talked about Shibata.
Oh yeah, the other good I had was my personal favorite match on night 1, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Might have been the best women's match in WWE. Now, I'm not including NXT in that. There have been some major rows in NXT. But Rhea versus Charlotte was awesome. It was the longest women's match in, I think, WrestleMania history. It went for a long time. It went for like almost half an hour. Yeah. So, but it was great, and the right person won. And yeah, dude, Rhea's hopefully under this return of Vince, she gets booked strong, because we know what they did to her last time.
Yeah, we did.
Charlotte's taking some time off. Rhea's,
of course.
And then we'll talk about WrestleMania a little bit after we're done here. But yeah, that was my other good. So
yeah, I want to make sure you got that in there, man.
Yeah, I got you, brother.
My good is day one was better than day two.
Yep. I think the two best matches in the entire show were on those days.
Day one, I agree with him for that match. I'll take Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus the Usos as the good, especially day one. The match, this guy's put on a hell of a show.
Yep.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Just beating the super kicking like crazy on Sami Zayn, and it's just like kicking out and kicking out and kicking out. It's just like that was a really good match.
The emotion that match was probably like at least on par with the emotion in Cody Roman.
Yeah.
If not even more so, because like you said, man, that we've been watching that thing develop for 9 months.
Yeah. And like Sammy said, last year he was in a gimmick match with Johnny Knoxville.
Yep.
And a year later, he's winning the tag titles, first time ever with KO. It's just, yeah,
it's crazy.
Look at Sammy last year. It's like, what the hell? What the hell is this with Johnny Knoxville? Just like
went from being a joke character to being one of the maybe the most serious character in the entire.
And you got over. I mean, because that bloodline thing with Sammy wasn't supposed to last that long.
Yeah, well, and y'all gotta remember too, and like people keep talking about, I don't know why they didn't pull the trigger there. Up until the point where Sammy got injected into it, the bloodline was starting to get a little stale. It was already starting to show its age, and it was starting to get a little stale. And then they injected Sammy into it, and a whole new dynamic started.
Yep.
So, for it being as interesting as it is right now, you got to thank him. So, yeah, I saw that Knoxville still talking shit to Sammy, which is awesome. I'm sorry. Sometimes I like watching that kind of stuff.
And as good as that tag title match was, the 6 women tag match with Trish, Lita, Becky Lynch versus Bayley.
It was a nothing match.
Dakota Kai and Io Shirai.
Yeah. Considering the talent that's in that friggin' match, they got 5. They got
4 of them. The 4 of them were good.
4 of the best women's wrestlers in the world right now.
Lita and Trish should not have been in that match at all.
I don't mind if they were in that match.
They needed more ring time
to get the rust off. Yeah,
to get the rust off before that match should even.
Well, and also place. I know that Lita's got like problems with her hip and stuff like that, so she's not going to be able to move the way she used to. But yeah, let's be honest. That was not the worst match of the entire show.
It was not. It wasn't good.
It wasn't good, but it was nowhere near the worst match. I'll tell you that the match that I was just like, man, what is going on was Cena versus Austin Theory. Dude,
yes, Theory, pal.
Dude, man, it was just like, man. Like Big Daddy said, I gave WrestleMania Night 1 a solid B+, Night 2 a C+, overall WrestleMania 39 a 7 out of 10. I would go a little higher than that. I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. It was definitely maybe the best WrestleMania we've gotten in like 10 years.
Yeah.
But hey, what's up, Leg Kick?
And almost versus Lesnar to start day 2 is like, okay, early break.
We'll talk about WrestleMania a little bit.
I feel bad. I feel the person I feel bad about
Miz
this weekend is Lashley.
Well, yeah, because Lashley didn't do anything. So, but like of all the people that were at WrestleMania, the person I feel the most bad about, believe it or not, is the Miz. Yeah, you talk about being solidified as a joke character,
and that's my ugly is day 1 versus McAfee, and day 2 you got Shane McMahon coming out,
them
tearing his quad, trying to do a jump over Miz, and comes down and tears his quad, and Snoop Dogg doing the worst.
Dude, poor Snoop. Hey,
Snoop Dogg improvising. So I'll give Snoop Dogg some credit. He came in there and just took that and okay, boom, this isn't.
Well,
this
well,
is
we-
going
Well, we
the
got
wrong
to do
direction.
something, baby.
Yeah, do something. But
But
that rock bottom or not rock bottom, that people's elbow from Snoop Dogg. But
bro.
yeah,
But
that
I'll tell you, man,
that
the
whole thing,
McMahons, man,
yeah.
they got a thing about tearing their quads, man.
Yeah, that whole thing with Miz was just awful. That was ugly.
Yeah. Like like I said, I've always said that the guy's mid card as hell, but I mean, God, how are you supposed to take
Cleveland's own Miz getting treated like that?
Yeah, you can't take that dude serious about anything anymore after that. But okay,
what do you got, Johnny? You got any?
Johnny, you got anything?
Well, guess an honorable mention for the bad. Like, I know a lot of people who like the high spots in the indie style matches, but after what happened to Dante Martin this weekend, can we slow down a bit?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I went back and I rewatched the footage on that.
Yeah, I saw that too. Good Lord.
God, man, it was so much worse than I thought it was.
It was such a stupid stunt. Like the whole.
The weird thing is he landed like pretty much exactly the way you want to, but what happened was they came so far over the tables that he landed with so much force it turned his foot around the.
No, they thought they came on turning, but they thought for some reason they were going to go straight down. That's not how physics work.
Oh my God, it was so.
It was either that or Penta was going to land on his head. That spot should not have happened.
Yeah, there's
in any
like
way, shape, or form.
We've said that like the last couple of matches where they've had those ladder matches and stuff. There's some dudes doing moves they had no business doing.
Yeah, and there was injuries all weekend. You got that. You got Shane McMahon. You got Finn Balor being busted open across the top of his head.
Hang on a second. I want to show you guys. Freaking what happened to Finn Balor. Oh my God, where did that go? Go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna find the picture. It was
and seeing Dante's foot like that reminded me a little bit of when Sid Vicious snapped his leg.
That's
coming off the second rope.
That is
the first thing that went in my head when I saw that leg go flopping around.
Like it wasn't that long ago that Ray Phoenix had his arms like twist like a twig on the table spot. Like if Tony doesn't tell his people to slow down with those table spots and those crazy stunts on ladders, and somebody's gonna get injured to the point they can't come back.
I agree. Tigsville and Top Flight is cursed.
Yeah, there's a time when like you're the promoter, you want your people to do you want them to be able to do what they want to do, but at the same time there comes a time where you might have to save them from themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, yeah. So to give you an idea, that's what Finn Balor finished wrestling with.
Yeah.
It looks like he got chopped in the head by Jason. Okay, this is a legit friggin' head wound, man. That's not just being cut up. That's not just being busted open. That's being gashed open to the bone.
Yeah.
So
that is staple your head back together.
Yes, they had to put 2 staples in it just to keep it closed enough so he could finish the match. Which is
those new UFC people know how to deal with that. He's gonna be fine from now on.
Jeez, God. Oh yeah. They do seem to be cursed, man. Well, like I said, man, they gotta high spots is one thing, but at some point the safety's gotta step in. So,
and yeah. Oh yeah,
McAfee.
From what I was reading, is that nobody knew McAfee was there.
Yeah, nobody knew he was coming
until he came out to the ring. And then on a sad note, Bushwhacker passed away yesterday, 78 years old.
Yeah, it's time comes for all of us, man.
Yep.
But another one gone. But anything else, Johnny?
No. Let's move on to the good, bad stuff.
Okay.
How's your porn stash there, Vinnie Mac?
I came to understand that it's actually a dictator stash.
Dictator stash, all right.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be.
It's a dick stash.
Jack Hammer stash. Jesus Christ.
Jackhammer.
The genetic jackhammer stash. Oh my god. But yeah, so the hang on one second. Let me put this up here. Hey, look at this. Vince McMahon back in charge at WWE Raw.
Of course he is.
So Vince Meltzer was fully in charge of Raw on Monday. Dave Meltzer, don't care about that part. That Vince was in charge of Raw. He was running TV tonight. He said he's back, and it is what it is. It will be what it was before. And if people think that was bad, it'll be bad. It's just the way it is. So according to people that were at the basically the overall feeling about Raw this week was that it was one of the worst Raws ever. And I can concur because it was over an hour into your wrestling show before you had any wrestling, and you had all of a minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
You had Omos come out and lumber around and kill Elias for a minute and 40 seconds. And then it was almost another 45 minutes before your next friggin' wrestling match happened. Yeah, he's a sexual tyrannosaurus. He's a dinosaur, all right.
Yeah, he is.
Basically, the report was that when the show started, Triple H was in Gorilla. He was in the seat, and they did that first segment. Yeah, and then after that first segment was over, Vince stepped in and he sit into Gorilla, and then he was in Gorilla for basically the first 25, 30 minutes of the show. Triple H was in Gorilla, and then the rest of the show, the next 2.5 hours, was all Vince.
Yep.
On top of that,
rewrites.
Literally, rewrites happened. 3 rewrites happened within 45 minutes, including about 20 minutes into the show. So literally, while Triple H is out in the ring, thanking everybody and saying, "Don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. You know, we're still here. It's still gonna be the WWE that the WWE that you love." While he's doing that, Vince is in the back. So, no, we're gonna rewrite this. We're gonna change this, and we're gonna change this, and then
yeah.
Some people are saying that the reason why Triple H went out there and did that whole thing was because, according to reports, the morale backstage, as soon as this sale went through and Vince made it clear that he was stepping back into creative, literally it was panic. Yeah, morale just took a freaking, just went off a cliff, man.
So how excited are we about NXT 3.0? Whatever it's gonna be.
Oh my god, dude! I who knows what's gonna happen now at this point? And the fact that, dude, I like UFC. I'm a UFC guy. This terrifies me for UFC that they're under fat chance of that happening, man. The fact that they are in the opinion of a lot of people, and myself included, UFC is actually not, ever since the Endeavor Group basically took over UFC, it's been on a slow, steady decline as far as the way it's conducted and whatnot. Now it's on the rise as far as a product is concerned, because UFC is, head and shoulders above every other competitor. But as far as the quality of UFC, I feel like it's gone downhill big.
So when are we going to see Braun Strowman and Omos in the next slap fight?
Oh my God. Omos.
Yeah, there you go. Power slap. Yeah.
Omos for power slap.
Yeah, Omos and Brock Lesnar for power slap.
Hey, Red Dress Press said, "Hail all. What's up, man?
Hi, Chris.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it." Yeah, we're just talking about the doom and gloom that is Vince returning to creative. Now Vince himself made a little statement as far as the WWE Endeavor deal. He said the Endeavor deal was the best outcome for our shareholders. WWE first, I see. Given the incredible work that Ari and Endeavor have done to grow the UFC brand, which I will admit they have grown the UFC brand, but I honestly think that that's because UFC is the better product of all the other MMA companies out there. Nearly doubling its revenue over the past 7 years, and the immense success we've already had in partnering with their team on a number of ventures, I believe this is without a doubt the best outcome for our shareholders and other stakeholders. Together, we will be a $21+ billion live sports and entertainment powerhouse with a collective fan base of more than 1 billion people and an exciting growth opportunity. Yeah, those some people are saying that $21 billion priced boast has actually been blown out of proportion. The new company will be well positioned to maximize the value of our combined media rights, enhancing sponsorship monetization, and developing new forms of content and pursuing other strategic mergers and acquisitions to further bolster our strong stable of brands. I, along with the current W management team, look forward to working closely with Ari and the Endeavor and UFC teams to take the business to the next level. Ari is Ari Emanuel. He was he's the CEO of Endeavor, and he's also basically a big Hollywood guy. Yeah. And we all know how Vince loves Hollywood, man. And if you look at the language of that whole thing, like that,
Vince doesn't love me.
Yes, he does.
Now the deal isn't done. It won't be done until like close to the year's end. Endeavor owns 51% of the new company that's going to be created out of the two, and the other 49 is owned by the WWE shareholders. But guess who is the top shareholder of all of those guys? Vincent Kennedy McMahon. According to reports, he's going to walk out controlling about 19% of the stock of this new company, which makes him the majority shareholder of that new company, which scares the hell out of me if that is true.
Yeah.
I don't need Vince to be in charge of friggin' UFC.
Yeah, nope.
I don't need Vince putting his 2 cents into UFC. He needs to stay the hell away from that.
Vince could have owned UFC 15 years ago.
Yep, could have owned it, but there was they did that interview. However, there was another interview. I can't remember what the company was. Who was it? It was CNBC. Vince was asked if he was going to be going back to creative, and he said yes, at a higher level, but not in the weeds as he had been in the past, which was kind of a gaslighting thing to say, because
that's what he said.
That's what he was doing before.
That's what he said when he gave it to Bischoff and Heyman, and we saw how that went.
Yeah, he said like he's involved with creative at the high end, and everybody else takes care of the day to day.
Yeah,
and then he comes in at the end of the week and changes everything.
Of course,
which is the exact same thing he's been doing forever. So him saying that is just, it's such a, like I said, it's such a gaslighting thing to say. Cause it's like saying, it's like, no, and it's like a vampire guy. No, I'm not going to suck all your blood. I'm just going to tap this vein over here. It's like,
so about this announcement that Tony has for tomorrow, how much do you guys think he's going to pay for Bellator?
Why would you buy Bellator?
Because Vince has the UFC on his hand.
Oh God, dude! If Tony did something like that, that'd be it for me. I'd be like, okay, you clearly aren't really trying to do this because you want to be the best wrestling show. You're just doing it to buy toys and compare yourself to someone else.
You're a dick measuring contest with Vince.
Now let's see. So who's going to get gone first, Hunter or Vince? Vince ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, Vince.
The way that Vince has entrenched himself into that company, Vince is never going anywhere ever again until the icy scythe of death comes for him. Vince McMahon is there, and that's the end.
Well, you know that, and Bob and I talked about before we came on. Endeavor's paying $9.1 billion for WWE. You're going to make some cost-cutting moves as soon as everything's finalized with that purchase. That means talent, and office personnel will be losing their jobs or getting significant pay cuts.
A lot of those
if
people,
they
yeah,
don't leave, if they don't leave before then.
A lot of those people that Triple H brought back are going to be gone again.
Bray Wyatt,
it's already
Bray
started.
Wyatt, stay on your medical whatever leave
for as long as you can.
because
Rigo.
But here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. Somebody actually pointed this out. That is okay. The $9.1 billion that they're claiming WWE is worth. They're not saying that that's how much they paid for it. They're saying that that's how much WWE is worth. And Vince has been saying that for ever since this whole merger thing started. But the reality is that number has been inflated. They said the true worth of WWE is somewhere around $5.5-6 billion. They're using inflated numbers. So this deal sounds. If you look at the way that this deal is structured, it looks less like a sale and more like a merger.
Yeah,
they're taking these two companies and they're merging them into one under this parent company. And they're going to be brands. There's going to be separate brands, supposedly. But as far as the worth of the company, we know that UFC was estimated to be somewhere around 12.5 billion, and then like they said, the WWE event, they claimed that they were worth about 9.1 billion. But the truth is that those numbers are probably inflated a little bit. They're probably worth more right now. They're probably worth more around 15-16 billion, and that's another thing, because I'm not a money guy. I don't I've never been a big stock market guy. I don't quite understand this thing. But from everything that I've read, they're inflating this a little bit to make themselves look like a bigger, more profitable entity than maybe they really are. Now, make no mistake, UFC is super profitable.
What?
WWE super profitable. Those two brands are they're almost, you can print money with them. But as that number is being, just like they do with all of their attendance numbers.
Oh, come on. They don't inflate those numbers.
They pad those numbers quite a bit.
Oh, there's 161,000 people in the last 2 days at WrestleMania.
But one of the most interesting things that came out of this was what Paul Triple H Levesque placed in the company as. He has been, despite what they say that he's still the chief content creator, he got a huge downgrade. Triple H got a massive downgrade. He's effectively been relegated to busy work. Just like I said, Vince is has the final say on creative. He can change it at last minute, which we already saw that he did. We're right back where we were 6 months ago.
Thanks for keeping the seat warm, pal.
Yep.
Get back to catering.
And Triple H no longer has the final say on creative, as was the case prior to his July 2022 resignation as chairman and CEO. This is Vince's realm now. Triple H still has the chief content officer title, but he doesn't really have the power that he used to have anymore.
Nope.
And that's just the truth of it. So, and somebody actually made a whole list of all these things that are obvious, going forward. What we learned from WrestleMania and from the Raw that came after that, and from the what's we said about this merger. Here are some truths about WWE going forward. Cody versus Roman. That shit's going to get dragged out as long as they can possibly drag it.
Oh boy.
He's going over 1,000 days before.
Oh, he's definitely going, dude. He may hold on to this thing until next year's WrestleMania,
possibly.
Okay?
He's gonna break Bruno's record.
He's I don't know if he's
about that.
Dude, he would have to hold it for almost.
Bruno's 7 years.
I'm not serious. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but Hexfield said with the merger, I see a lot more commercialization in WWE. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch mascot is going to become a rep. Dude, look, I understand branding. I understand selling advertisement, stuff like that. You have a match that's as emotional that's was emotionally charged as the match between Ray and Dominic is supposed to be. You don't need a freaking Cinnamon Toast Crunch freaking mascot dancing around at the ringside. That's just freaking stupid.
You had Logan Paul's drink mascot dancing around.
Oh God, all of it was dumb. We are going to get Cody versus Roman 2. We may even get Cody versus Roman 3.
And those are not gonna mean anything. Like
Here's the thing. No, like I said about people, all they were just like, oh, Cody's finished. He's done. No, blah, blah, blah.
No, I'm not saying Cody's finished, but beating Roman is not gonna be as impactful as it would.
It's not going to be. It's not going to have the impact that it would have had at WrestleMania. Like I said, they missed a gold. In my personal opinion, they missed a golden opportunity to create a true megastar. But like we all know, Vince doesn't want that anymore. Doesn't want megastars anymore. And we're talking like, well, what about Roman? Roman's not on the level that Cena was. Roman's not on the level that Cena was. He's not on the level. He's definitely not on the level that Rock and Austin were. Roman's the guy in WWE, but he's hit the ceiling. He ain't going any higher. They could have legitimately had the next Cena or potentially even the next Rock if Cody had won, and they didn't because that's not what Vince wants. But we are getting the plan is they like they said, this is chapter 1. We are definitely getting Cody versus Roman 2. We may even get Cody versus Roman 3. Now in the past, having a trilogy of matches like that is a good thing, but not when you are trying to elevate someone to that level of stardom, or given the impression that you are trying to elevate someone to that level of stardom. If you had that chance, we saw how big those matches between the FTR and the Briscoes were. Okay, now imagine if and you know what, Big Daddy, I had a feeling it was going to happen too. I said basically my predictions were, I said Cody was going to win because that's what in my mind should have happened. But I also said that it would not surprise me one bit if they had Roman win and they pushed this thing down the road.
Yeah.
Which and here's the thing. I hope I'm wrong. I hope when Cody finally does take that friggin' win that championship, when he finally beats Roman, that it is every bit as huge as we all want it to be. No. I just don't think it's going to be.
Right there, Hicks Villain said he'll lose at WrestleMania 45. You know who's going to beat him at WrestleMania 45? -1.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you said it. I think JD was saying it. A lot of people were saying, they're going to push this thing down the road. You also said the Horsemen are going to reform. You shut your friggin' mouth. Every friggin' sign pointed to them making a new Horseman. Don't give me that crap. The COVID is what killed that whole thing. So, but yeah, and I would not be, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Cody Roman 3, if we get the rubber match. And it'll be good. Make no mistake, it will be good. It just will not have the impact that I think it would have had if Cody had won at WrestleMania.
If it's not -1 that beats him at WrestleMania 45, it'll be 70-year-old Sting that'll beat him at
or what 60-year-old
The Rock?
No, Goldberg.
Oh, Goldberg, yeah.
Nah, he'll be busy beating MJF.
Another thing that came out of all this, the women's tag scene will never improve. It will never be anything. Women's tag scene is less relevant to WWE than the men's tag division is.
Yeah, and they had segments on Raw last night playing with the next contender for Bianca, and nope, we're gonna forget that. We're gonna do the next contenders for the tag titles.
Yeah,
and then we're gonna have Bayley out there. Oh nope, we're not gonna have Bayley. We're not gonna use Bayley tonight.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. We'll talk about that in a second. Another thing. Some wrestlers are creatively rooted. Now look, there's a lot of -1 gave Solo the belt strap. Yeah. Some wrestlers like people saying that Cody was buried, and that's just stupid. Cody wasn't buried. Cody's going to be fine. Same thing. Asuka wasn't buried. I still think that she should have won over Bianca. Because I think as good as Bianca's been, I think she's been kind of one-dimensional. She's already beaten everybody. She's kind of in the same place that Roman was, to be completely honest. I mean, who's going to challenge for her now?
Asuka hasn't won at WrestleMania either. She's 0-3.
Asuka's never won at WrestleMania either, which I think is just a travesty. They're not buried. Mustafa Ali is buried. Okay. Chad Gable is buried.
Elias.
Okay? Elias is. Listen, these guys, these are people who
Ezekiel's coming back, baby.
When their contract is up, they need to look to go elsewhere because they will never be more than what they are right now in WWE because they're just not going to get it. It won't happen. Okay. They're not going to be Daniel Bryan. Okay. No. They're not going to be this underdog who finds a way to get the people behind them. And then they're forced to listen. Vince is forced to listen. That's not going to happen with these guys.
They're gonna be Zack Ryder at best.
Yeah. No, McMahon will squash anybody who tries to be the next Bryan Danielson.
And another thing that came out of it, WWE has no real tag title challengers.
Yeah.
You had this big thing, this big match to crown the number one contender for the WWE tag team titles, and the next day you squash them. Then the next day, well, they don't get squashed. The next day they lose on Raw. Over, done. You could have taken this thing. What I would have done is I would have slowly turned the Street Profits heel because they're not going to be the faces in this friggin' thing. And that could have also teased into the potential, because we know that they're looking to push Montez forward as a singles guy. You could have turned this into something that could have gone for a couple of months. No, instead you just ended it one night. So that says that the tag titles, other than doing some feel good moments like they did with Sami and KO, they don't care. There's the tag team scene is 3 teams. There's 2 teams in the tag team scene that have any true matter to them. That's the Usos and that's
New Day.
The New Day. That's it. And they've challenged each other to the point where nobody wants to see them anymore. Even though the matches they have are great.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no effort being put into it. So Matt says, so if FTR signed with E, do you think they just thought we effed up? Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And like when they did that, I was like, okay, Street Profits won. Now let's see an interesting campaign between Street Profits and KO and Zayn. Nope. It's over. Done. 15 minutes. Yeah. 15 minutes. I don't even think it was 15 minutes.
Sending Malicito, if you're Jay White, you'd be like, nope.
Well, according to reports, Jay White has now indicated that he has no inclination to sign with WWE. I wonder why. Maybe it's because the guy that loves the hell out of him has probably been courting the crap out of him is no longer in charge. But yeah, that's so a couple other things, and like obviously Vince is back in charge because if you watched Raw, and I feel for you if you did because I did and it hurt. It was one of the worst Raws I've ever seen. I'm not going to say it was the worst Raw I've ever seen because my memory doesn't go back that far, but it was pretty bad. Like I said, when you go over an hour into your wrestling show and you don't have any wrestling, and then when you finally do, it's only 100 seconds long, 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Yep.
And then your next match was like 45 minutes later. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Dresden said, "Jeez, I just saw Johnny's avatar." Yeah, and if your guys, another thing, according to the reports coming out of the locker room is that morale is super down. We already had the 2 guys from Grizzled Young Veterans ask for their release, and they were given their release, which shows you that exactly what Frank said. They're in cost cutting mode. According to multiple sources, including Sean Ross Sapp, who's usually pretty good for this stuff. There are 2 top stars that are one is basically asking for their release, and the other has said that they're going to ride their contract out and then they're going to leave.
Yep.
And according to reports, Yeah, no NXT call ups. Yeah, Braun better stay in friggin' Florida. But you know what though? Braun's the kind of guy that Vince likes. He's a big beefy dude, and he's kind of goofy. So he's the kind of guy that Vince would actually probably treat Braun fairly decently. Now, would he push him? Would he let him become what he could be, which is a world title guy? Who knows? But he's definitely he's a Vince guy.
The best of the cases, he would just rush him like he did Austin Theory, and everyone would turn against him.
Ugh. Yeah, all you gotta do is eat a steak and not sneeze in front of Vince, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
Yeah, but supposedly the two names that people are throwing around that are the people that want to leave are Bayley and Drew McIntyre. Now we know Drew McIntyre's contract is pretty much up like next month.
I thought it was next year.
No. I thought no. His contract is up like really soon, like really, really soon, and everyone was kind of like shocked by that because they're like, "Well, wait, dude, why doesn't this guy have a contract?" But yeah, his contract is up really soon. Bayley, we saw that Damage Control came out. She wasn't with him. Nope. She was supposed to have She was supposed to have a big segment.
Yep.
On Raw, and it got cut completely. So now these are all rumors. It could be anybody. It could be friggin' Elias, who's like, I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. And by the way, considering the way that they booked him, would you?
And Bailey's best friend is wrestling overseas, or even in on her own.
She's going to AEW. She only signed.
She could be at Forbidden Door in June.
She could be at that Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Because she only signed, I think, like a 3-month contract.
She'd come to Double or Nothing and set up a match for Forbidden Door because it's only a month later.
Yeah,
a little over a month later.
She's going to AEW, 100%. I think she's going to be kind of like with like have that deal with Mox where she can work other places if she wants to, as long as they don't clash with AEW. But yeah, it's like. When I saw and then there was other things that they were talking about, like we're gonna get like Bad Bunny's gonna main event Backlash. I wouldn't be surprised at that after what happened on Raw, which we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Was it Matt Riddle's about to get another push? Yeah.
Yeah.
He showed up on
text the Miz.
Yeah. One thing that they talked about, and I completely agree with them, is that the post-Mania Raw tradition is dead. So used to be when the Raw after WrestleMania was a big show, like a big deal, and they would make a big deal out of it. Like they would book rematches from WrestleMania. They would continue feuds that began. That's the other thing too, is we didn't see any big feuds or anything happen on WrestleMania.
Yeah, not last night. We didn't see anything last night.
Nothing happened. The only thing that happened, the big thing that happened last night on Raw was Brock turning on Cody, which I'm like, okay, I like Brock as a heel better anyway, but it's just, and obviously that's, they're setting Brock versus Cody up going forward. But it used to be the Raw after WrestleMania was almost like WrestleMania night 3 or night 2, like it used to be one night. Not anymore. Because Raw last night was dog shit. It was terrible. It was 90% promos. And they did nothing to really further anything other than Cody and Roman. And that's the thing. People like Cody and Roman. Roman is Vince's boy. That's Vince's guy. So he's putting all of his energy into that. And everything else, he just is just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. The only other thing they set up was for next week, isn't it? Bayley and Lita versus Raquel and Liv Morgan.
Yep.
That's something they set up.
Which nobody cares about because they like I said, the women's tag team scene will never be anything. It will never change. It will never grow. It will never prosper. That whole match that we had on at WrestleMania apparently wasn't to crown the number one contender like it was with the men's. It was just there to be there.
Oh yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It's just dumb. But
And,
so
and,
yeah,
that wasn't that good of a match either.
no, it
we
wasn't.
knew Ronda and what's her name were going to win.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ronda Rousey won a match that she was barely in.
Yeah.
But we should talk about WrestleMania a little bit and talk about what happened there. Vince pegged Roman since he debuted the Shield. Yeah. So WrestleMania actually was pretty good. We just want to go over the matches real quick. United States Championship, Austin Theory versus John Cena. Match was not that great. Cena was obviously not 100% in ring shape. He this match did nothing to elevate Austin Theory.
No.
Did nothing to elevate Austin Theory. And whether you like Austin Theory or not, he is one of the guys that they are looking at going forward. So you want to elevate this. So, and yeah, he got the win on John, but John spent 75-80% of the match kicking the shit out of him. So, and this was nowhere near John Cena's best performance, man. This was
no, not even close.
But yeah, it's clear that Cena agreed to the match to give to please the fans, not to give Theory what he needed. What he needed was to give Theory a decisive win. One of the two best matches of the night, in my opinion, Charlotte versus Rhea. This was awesome. It was, like I said, one of the best. I'm not going to go into it too much. One of the best women's matches they've ever had, if not the best women's match they've ever had in WWE. And that's saying a lot. It was awesome. Rhea's the future. Give her the ball and let her run.
Yep.
That's what I say.
And Charlotte said you know what would be crazy? What would be crazy is if Charlotte left and went to AEW.
Oh my god!
Because what she got left? What she got left to prove in WWE?
No, she doesn't have anything.
If she left and went to AEW and they counted her titles in AEW and she won 2 more to get to 16.
Oh, if she actually broke his record in AEW instead of WWE, oh my god, that would piss him off so bad. Dom's entrance was awesome. It was cheesy as shit considering the whole the con thing, but it was a great entrance. Ray's entrance was great too. Those were probably the 2 best entrances of the entire show. But what else we have? Braun Strowman. Yeah, the men's 4-way was actually decent.
Mr. Choo Choo.
Yeah. Until that, there was some dumb crap. Dominic versus Ray was a decent match. That's probably the best that Dominic has looked in a match. He actually looked pretty good.
He did. He did
in the match, and of course, and just the storytelling of it. It's like we finally got what we've been waiting for what 2 years. So that was good. Becky, Lynch, Lita, and Stratus versus Damage Control. This was a serious letdown. You had 4 of the best women's wrestlers in the world in that match, and Lita obviously could not move like she used to. Trish, can't move like she used to. They didn't, like you said, they didn't have enough time to knock that ring rust off. I wasn't expecting a lot from this match, but I was expecting more than this. And honestly, if there's a time to put Damage Control over, that was it. Yeah, that was it, because they've been nothing since they came up. And you're talking about like Io and friggin' Bailey are 2 of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Dakota Kai's pretty damn good too. And you're having them look like friggin' losers. They're the friggin' they're the Alpha Academy of the women's division right now.
And I would not be surprised if Raquel and Liv Morgan win on Monday.
I wouldn't either.
And they're the new tag champions because Lita doesn't have much longer with them.
Well, Raquel, according to all reports, Raquel's supposed to be getting a big push. So they're definitely not going to have her losing if that's the case. So it was just, oh my god! Like I said, if not for how disappointed I was. Just really, really disappointed in Austin Theory and John Cena match. This would have been the worst match of the night. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. It was what we expected it to be.
Yep.
Logan Paul, he's pretty damn good in the ring. I did think it was funny when KSI got put through the table.
Oh boy.
I just, like I said, man, it's gimmicky. Logan Paul's contract is over. Well, see, that's the thing. He says his contract's over, but according to the reports, when he signed for multiple years. So it's either a work or it's something else.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of Logan Paul as a person. As a wrestler, he did all right. But then
another one of Cleveland's own, Logan Paul.
Yeah. Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens delivered in spades.
Oh yeah.
Disappointed in Vince's mustache. Everybody's disappointed in Vince's porn stash, man. The emotional, like this move, like I said, I thought the Charlotte Rhea match was the best match of night one. This one was very, very close and definitely far more emotional. So, it was everything we wanted, especially after when Sammy took out Jay with not one, not two, but 3 haluva kicks, basically kicked his friggin' head off. And the crowd, the crowd, man, it was, you could tell they've been waiting for this forever.
And the super kick after super kick.
Oh my God, dude, he got super kicked what, like 6 times in a row?
Yeah, I thought I was seeing the Young Bucks for a second.
He got super kicked 6 times in a row and took a 1D. And it was like okay, like literally, like if that actually happened, he'd be dead. So, but dude, and the crowd, like they did that. That was that. You know what the whole thing was? That was priming the crowd. That was priming the crowd because when he kicked out on every one of those, man, the pop was just bigger and bigger and bigger. And when he finally, when Zayn hit the stunner on Jimmy, and then he got Jay in the corner and he hit Jay with those 3 friggin' haluva kicks, man, and he got the pin. That was, dude, friggin', like I said, the roof came off of that place. So that was night 1. Night 2 started with
almost versus Lesnar.
Yeah. And dude, okay, so I will say this. This is the best Omos has ever looked. But in a 4.5 minute match, you had 2 bear hug rest holds. I mean, like, dude, I know like Brock matches are short, but they don't need to be that short. I mean, that was like, geez. I wonder if Shane O'Mac will walk like this. I'll tell you something, man. There's something about these McMahons and blowing out their quads. It's just ridiculous, man. But Brock versus Omos was exactly what we thought it was going to be. It was terrible. No offense to Omos. He's probably a really nice guy, but
you missed a match from night 1. Pat McAfee versus The Miz.
No, because nobody cares. Hey, Big Daddy's back. He said, cheers. You too, sir. Throw him up if you got him. Then it was the women's 4-way, which wasn't that great. Like I said, Ronda and Shayna won. Ronda was barely in the damn thing. Next match was it the Hell in the Cell, right?
Wasn't Shayna limping around too?
Shayna, there was no. She looked like they think it was just kayfabe,
okay,
because there's no reports that she was injured.
Yeah,
Edge versus
speaking
Finn.
of injured, here we go.
Edge versus Finn, where Finn got his friggin' skull split in half.
That wasn't that long into the match. Boom.
No, it wasn't. It was the chair shot. I mean, not the chair, the
ladder shot.
The ladder shot. They threw that and hit him right in the face. But and also Finn, no quads. That's what you got. Oh my God. But in this match, like I said, they went too long, obviously because of injuries and stuff like that. This storyline got stretched out.
Well, they said it was supposed to go a couple minutes longer.
I'm talking about the whole feud between Edge and
that, yeah.
Yeah, that got dragged out way too long. I'm glad it's over. They both looked pretty good, but Balor was playing the demon different than he has in the past. Like he was really cartoony with it. It felt kind of weird.
Like the Fiend.
Yeah, it was. It was more over. It was way over the top. More over. Usually he just acts mean as shit. He's just like I'm like, dude, come on, man. That's just
somebody clip that, please.
It's trying to make up for Bray Wyatt not being there.
Oh, jeez. But no, it was overall. It was a good match. It was pretty brutal. But it was all right, and I'm glad that this is over and they can move on. Intercontinental Champion Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew. This was the second best match of night 2, in my personal opinion. Dude, freaking Gunther. This is one of the reasons why I was hoping. This is another reason why I was hoping that Cody would win, is that he could challenge. That Gunther can now be elevated to the world title status.
Isn't it nice how he doesn't need Imperium to be his opponents every time? I'm looking at the bloodline.
That's a heel thing, man. Like, and that's
but
not,
how many times has that happened? But until now,
that's part of the whole idea behind what Roman's doing, though. It's
like
just he's
boring.
gaslighting his family into thinking that they have to be his toadies.
He gets boring. The fact that he has a point doesn't mean it is good.
Well, and like I said, like until Sammy got injected into the whole thing, it was starting to get a little stale. But now that we're at where we're at, we'll see where it is going forward. And it's obviously the disintegration of the bloodline is beginning.
Yeah.
So, no, dude, Gunther is just so freaking good, man. And all three of these dudes, like, you had three of the best guys in WWE in this match. Sheamus, who's had the best, like last year was like the best year he's had in a long time. Drew, who is legitimately should be in the friggin' title scene because he's that friggin' good. They botched his title run, but I mean, you had three just massive dudes in here. Gunther, who's such a good mat wrestler on top of being a big guy, and and everyone's like, he lost all the ways. Dude, I like his new look. He looks like a fighter.
A lot better than he's thinner and.
I mean, he looks. Lord. I mean, like, yeah, he's not super jacked, but he legit looks like a fighter. If you look at like boxers, you look at MMA fighters, he looks like a fighter. So, and dude, best chop in the world since friggin' Ric Flair, man. Dude, those chops that he was throwing on Sheamus were like gunshots. Like everybody walked out of that match looking like their chest was bleeding. So. That was an awesome match. Gunther retained. I really hope that he's going to be in the title scene sometime soon. Bianca versus Asuka. This was a really good match. Like I said, Bianca's they did a good job of playing up Asuka's speed and her mat ability versus Bianca's strength. Personally, I would have pulled the trigger and given Asuka her first win at WrestleMania for a couple of reasons. One, I think she deserves it. Two, like I said, old school guy. I think the face should always chase the heel until they get that big moment, like they could have had with Cody, and that Cody will have eventually.
I think this is Asuka's last. I think
run.
I think this is run to E.
I think this is Asuka's last run. Period. I think after she's done with her current contract with WWE, she's done. I think she's going to go back because here's the thing: she's actually an entrepreneur. She owns like a bunch of businesses in Japan. She owns like one of the largest beauty shop chains in Japan. She doesn't need money. So she does this because she loves it. But she's what, 42, 41, 42
something
now?
Like that. Something like that.
She's also been one of those people that indicate, she's 41.
And she's a mom. She wants to spend time with her kid.
She wants to be with her kids. She's also said she doesn't want to be one of those people that stays too long. Just like Cody, he said, I don't want to be an in-ring performer when I'm 50 years old. So I would have given it to her then. Plus, like I said, Bianca, she's already beaten everybody. I mean, the only thing they could do with her would be to move her to another brand. But even then, it's the same thing. It's diminishing returns at a certain point. So, but it was a good match. Universal title match, Roman versus Cody. Dude, it was like ending notwithstanding, it was a great match. It was a great match. Okay, whether you like him or you hate him, Roman is a good wrestler, and he's very good at telling a story in the ring. Now, so I will agree that that story is kind of easy to tell when the whole story is that you're the most dominant force in the universe. But Roman as a wrestler has improved. He's changed a lot since his days with the Shield. He's not just a power guy anymore. He's got a much greater moveset, and he's a good champion, man. He really is. But like I said, I disagree with the ending of this thing. Like the crowd was in this match, man. They were in it hard. And when Roman won, there was a huge pop when Roman won, but it wasn't a pop of yes or it was like, what? It was a pop of disbelief. It was like, oh my freaking God, you got to be kidding me. And then afterward, the booze just started hammering down.
It was a pop. It was a pop like 16-1.
Yep. It was like, what the hell just happened? But we'll see what happens going forward. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. It was a great match, though. I don't think Cody's buried. I don't think his career's over. I don't think this is as far as he goes. I think he does eventually win versus Roman. It happened. It either happened at Roman versus Cody 2, or potentially even at Cody versus Roman 3, because they're going to drag this thing out. Will it be as big? No.
Roman City's taking time off.
That's the other reason why I said that this was the wrong idea. Because if he does, that means your world title is going to be off TV for at least 2 or 3 months.
And speaking of TV, the TV rights come up eventually, and there's a rumor that I was reading that it might go to a streaming service rather than being on Fox and USA.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. Which is the exact opposite of what Vince wanted back in the day. So, like I said, Endeavor does now that Endeavor is involved in this thing, things as far as the marketing and whatnot are going to change. I don't know if they're going to change for the better. I'm really worried about it. I'm super worried about UFC. But yeah, he's really saying I wasn't a fan of the ending, but when it comes to WWE, Roman is the story, not Cody. The problem is Roman can't continue to be the story because like I said, it's diminishing returns now, especially if Roman is leaving.
Every story needs an ending. That was the perfect spot.
Yeah. Well, it was a perfect spot, but it's not going to be. It's like the Matrix should have ended with the Matrix. The sequels were okay, they were fun, but they weren't what the first one was. So that's what this is. But yeah, overall, WrestleMania, I give this a solid 7.5. It's one of the better it's one of the best WrestleManias we've gotten in probably the last decade, easily. Maybe top 10 of all time. It was really just not necessarily the wrestling on the show. There was, like I said, there was 4 really, really, really good matches. There were a couple of okay matches, and then there were some duds. But the presentation of the show, I thought, was one of the best we've ever seen. So, which we knew that was going to happen because the production values for this one was going to be through the roof because it was in Hollywood. And
of course,
Vince is a Hollywood guy. So, but yeah, that was WrestleMania. Those are our thoughts on Vince being back in creative. I'm not happy about it.
Where do you think they go with Lesnar now that he's a face or heel again?
Dude, Lesnar may become the next freaking champion. It's Vince.
He can't.
It's Vince.
He cannot wrestle for the title as long as Roman Reigns is a champion.
They
even mentioned Vince. They even mentioned that last night on Raw.
When has that ever mattered in the past? They could have.
But if McMahon was in charge, they would have done something to take that out of there.
They might do that in going forward, dude. You want to know?
He's gonna-
Now you got
No,
Roman Reigns.
he's gonna get.
Now you got
he's
Roman
gonna get
Reigns
somebody
and
from
Brock
the States.
Lesnar being managed by Paul Heyman.
No, here's the thing.
No, he's gonna take Heyman hostage, or Jimmy, or Jay, and he's gonna say, "I don't give them back until I get my match."
Yeah, he'll do something like no. Well, no, that won't work because we know Roman doesn't really care about them. What he might do is he might come out and he might interfere in every one of Roman's matches and say, "I'm going to keep doing this until you give me a friggin' title shot."
Yeah, you take Paul Heyman away from Roman Reigns, he don't care.
No, he doesn't.
Unless you take Paul Heyman and use him as a
now
that he eventually turns on Roman Reigns and costs them.
Here's the thing. I think the character as the character, I think Roman actually cares more about Paul than he does about his family. Because I think he sees Paul as useful. Paul is his advisor. So if Brock took Paul, Roman might actually respond to that. But if he took Jimmy or Jay or even Solo, he'd probably be like, do what you got to do. Sacrificing it's for the good of the family, that kind of thing. But if you take somebody who's his useful tool behind the scenes, then you're messing with his assets.
When does Solo turn on Roman?
Solo is the last one to turn on Roman. It's gonna be Jay first. It's gonna be Jay. It's just like Cody set the storyline. Jay's gonna leave Jay because he's already starting to gaslight him again, like last episode.
Yep.
So it's gonna be Jay first, then it's gonna be Jimmy, and the last one to leave him will be the last one to leave him will be Heyman. The last one to leave him will be Solo. The family will be Solo. But but that's all of that's gonna happen before Cody wins the friggin' title. Because that's the only way Cody's gonna be able to win the title is if there's nobody there to help him.
Oh, so it's gonna take like another year.
That's what I said. It could be next year's WrestleMania before we see this. It may be even longer than that.
Because Roman might not be back till SummerSlam.
Roman, according to all reports, Roman's going to be taking at least like a month or two off. It could be, but it could be more than that. Because I think they said one of the things he's supposed to be shooting a movie.
Yeah, because he's not going to be a Backlash in Puerto Rico. That's not going to.
No, he's not going to be he's not going to be a Backlash. He may not be at SummerSlam. SummerSlam's what? 3 months away?
It's usually in August, isn't it?
Yeah, Hicksville. The fall of Roman will be a year plus long storyline. That's what I think is going to happen. And like a lot of people, like JD from New York said that it's going to happen. It's like because that's where Roman, the current Roman began at. Was it SummerSlam? He said it's going to end at SummerSlam. I don't think so. I think Vince is going to push this thing as far down the line as he possibly can because it's Vince. Vince created this thing. He wants it to last as long as it possibly can. And even if it's diminishing returns, Vince won't pull the trigger on this thing until he absolutely has to.
Yeah.
So until he beats it into the ground.
Yeah, that kick said it'd be a feud with Cody and Lesnar until Roman gets back.
Yeah. Cody and Lesnar. No, well, there's two people. I could see Cody and Lesnar, and then possibly Cody and LA Knight, because they had a few words. But anyway, what?
Your thoughts? Because I know you were excited about it the other day on the reformation of the Four in AEW with Bryan Danielson.
Oh.
Back with the Blackpool Combat Club.
If Shibata had not beaten Wheeler Yuta so decisively, and the fact that I love that guy so much, the reformation of the Blackpool Combat Club would have been my top thing for the week. Bryan Danielson coming out and then in one moment answered all the questions that everybody had. Whether was he still a member of the BCC? What's going to happen? Is he now a face? What's going forward? And here's the thing: some people were pissed off that the Blackpool Combat Club and Bryan Danielson were heels. I'm like, no. you go back and you look at from the moment the Blackpool Combat Club started till now, they were faces, but they acted like heels. Okay. Bryan Danielson was a heel who was acting like a face when he was challenging MJF. Because remember, back when he said, like, you remember, guys, remember which tunnel I come walking out of? Because he's like, I'm still a heel, like I'm still the heel guy. So them turning made absolute sense to me.
That's just confusing storytelling.
Oh, you mean nuanced storytelling?
Confusing. I mean what I say. I meant what I said.
It's not confusing. It's nuanced.
But Bryan Danielson coming out and laying out
and just
Kenny Omega,
laying out Kenny, and like you said, I think you're right. I think Don Callis is going to end up becoming the mouthpiece for the BCC. Which I don't know. Idea. I don't know how I feel about it. Here's the thing: I would love Don Callis to be on commentary, like to become part of the commentary team. Take Taz out of there and put Don Callis in.
No,
and I like Taz. And here's the thing: I like Taz, but Don Callis. If you've ever seen Don Callis as a color commentary guy, he's awesome. He's fantastic. He was in New Japan with Ken Kelly for a while, and they were freaking great. So yeah, and when he was Cyrus the Virus?
Yep.
So yeah, Don Callis. I think that's what's going to happen. No, he's definitely going to end up being that he paid them to beat down the Elite.
Yeah.
But with Matt injured,
another injury.
Yeah, well, yeah, another injury. He has a partially torn bicep, which he's not going to get the surgery because if he can rehab it without injuring it further, he could be back in 2 or 3 weeks. It's like 2 or 3 weeks rather than or 3 or 4 weeks rather than 2 or 3 months. So he's going to try that instead. But right now, I think is a perfect time if you're going to have the BCC versus the Elite. Bring in Kota Ibushi, which we know he's going to come here eventually.
Oh yeah,
because his best friend is here. But yeah, BCC back together. Couldn't be happier. All right, guys, that's it. Final thoughts? Anything?
It's gonna
be interesting.
Really, it's be interesting to see what Mr. Tony Khan's big announcement is tomorrow night.
What I was thinking.
Everybody love everybody.
And again,
come on, ELE.
Everybody love everybody.
Except for Vinnie Mac being back in because they don't like that.
But thanks for being here, guys. Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. Guys, check out Big Daddy. He does videos all the time. He was doing commentary on WrestleMania. Check him out. Go learn from the Learning Tree, guys. I'll be there tomorrow for the big announcement. Yeah, I mean, I'm 50-50 on Tony's big announcements. Sometimes they're awesome, and sometimes they're just like, okay, dude, nobody cares. But thanks for being here, Hicksville and Leg Kick.
Red Dress
Big
Press.
Daddy, Maldacito, Red Dress Press. Thanks for being here. Appreciate
it.
Courtney, the First Lady of Wrestling.
That's right.
And I'm trying to see if I missed anybody else. Maldacito, glad you're at home this time, man. We didn't have to worry about you freaking getting into a car wreck. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys here next week. Bye.